Good evening, this is GC and English News Edition, and you're watching with me, Nunghoy Kim Khongsai. First, the headlines. Amidst Manipur's turmoil, 2 detained Meitei youths released on Kuki Zou Remembrance Day. Kuki MP asks Center to address state's pressing issues. Mob storms police station, loots arms during violence in Ukhrul. News in detail. The world has witnessed the rarest of visuals this morning from the conflict-ridden state of Manipur, an extraordinary moment of humanity in a state torn by ethnic violence. For the first time in 17 months of conflict between the Kuki, Zou and Meitei communities, images of adversaries shaking hands and embracing in a display of compassion and ethics emerged as a beacon of hope. This momentous event occurred in the early hours of Kuki Zou Remembrance Day at Gamgipa in Kangpokpi district as Kuki Zou village volunteers released 2 detained Meitei youths in a deeply emotional ceremony. The 2 youths, both from Thobal district, had been held since September 27th after they, along with a friend, accidentally entered Kuki Zou territory. While their friend was released the same day with the interventions of the Committee on Tribal Unity (COTU, the remaining 2 were detained due to rising tensions and security concerns. Their release, orchestrated by the relentless efforts of COTU, is a landmark moment that comes after the repeated failures of Manipur state government under Chief Minister Biren Singh to address the escalating tensions. These failures, coupled with the state's reluctance to act decisively, forced the interventions of central government, which ultimately brokered the resolution that led to today's breakthrough. Manipur, long steeped in ethnic strife, has seen relations between the Kuki, Zou and Meitei communities deteriorated sharply, with violence escalating and no solutions in sight. The state government's inactions in addressing critical concerns, particularly under the leadership of Chief Minister Biren Singh, has only deepened the divide, leaving both communities teetering on the edges of chaos. According to NZ Lun Kipgen, spokespersons of COTU, the situation had reached a breaking point, necessitating the center's involvement to bring about today's resolution. The release of the 2 youths was not simply an act of compassion by the Kuki Zou volunteers, but the result of intense and complex negotiations led by COTU. These talks were initiated out of necessity, as the Manipur administration failed to respond adequately to mounting tensions. COTU's involvement became even more crucial after the brutal killing of an ex-army officer in Sekmai who had accidentally crossed into a conflict zone, an incident that only heightened fears and distrust within both communities. COTU, an organization dedicated to protections and advocacy of Kuki Zou community rights, emerged as a key player in securing the safe release of the 2 detained youths. From the moment the trio was taken into custody on September 27th, COTU stepped in to negotiate their release. Although they successfully facilitated the release of 1 youth on the same day, the detentions of the other 2 proved far more challenging due to heightened concerns over community security and recent violent incidents. Over several days, starting on September 29, COTU held numerous rounds of talks with the Manipur Director General of Police (DGP). Despite these ongoing efforts, an agreement could not be reached immediately, as the Kuki Zou village volunteers insisted on significant concessions. Their demands stem from the vulnerability of their communities, particularly in areas like Pailengmu, and concerns over Kuki Zou inmates held in Sajiwa jail under precarious conditions. Faced with an impasse, COTU turned to central government for support. It was only after the center's intervention that progress was made. On October 2, during a pivotal meeting, the DGP representing the center agreed to key demands from the Kuki Zou village volunteers. These include that relocating Kuki Zo inmates from Saziwa jail to safer areas under Kuki Zo control and establishing a police station in Pailengmul, a region on the front lines of the conflict, to ensure the safety of residents. Speaking after the release, NG Luan Kipgyam emphasized that today's event showcases the Kuki Zo community's adherence to the principle of sparing innocent lives, particularly women, children, the elderly, and the vulnerable despite the ongoing conflict. The visuals of Kuki Zo and Métis individuals embracing serve as a powerful reminder that even in the face of division, there remains room for humanity and ethics. Kipgyam further noted that the failure of the Manipur state government to address these long-standing issues continues to highlight the critical need for central intervention. The center's involvement, which ultimately led to today's breakthrough, underscores the urgency of addressing not only immediate conflicts but also the systemic problems that have filled Manipur's strife for years, he added. NG Luan Kipgyam further expressed his frustrations over the misrepresentations of Kuki Zo community by Valley-based media and the people of Valley. He emphasized that despite the relentless efforts of Kuki civil society organizations in Cedar Hills, Kangpokpi district and Kotu for the safe release and well-being of the two detainees, their image had been unfairly tarnished. Our actions, especially in situations like this, where we ensure the safety and release of the innocent though, are often ignored or mischaracterized, Kipgyam stated. Despite our consistent adherence to humanitarian principles, our community has been painted in a negative light by media outlets based in the Valley. These outlets often focus on the conflict through a biased lens, portraying us as aggressors rather than showing the truth about our efforts to protect vulnerable individuals. Kipgyam went on to explain that such biased reporting and negative mindsets have fueled further misunderstanding between the Kuki Zo and Métis communities, deepening the divide. The people in the Valley are often fed one-sided narratives which only perpetuate fear and hostility towards us. It is disheartening that even when we release detained individuals safely, such acts of humanity are overshadowed by negative portrayals of our community.
The community unity is hard-pressed to make this press bite with regards to the incident which had happened on the 27th of September, wherein three youths from Imphal Valley were detained by our village volunteers. Mention been made that the Committee on Tribal Unity has been spearheading for the safety and the release of this detainee. But however, our efforts were maligned by the Valley-based local media as well as the public in Imphal, saying that the Committee on Tribal Unity is a part of this milieu. But we would like to reiterate that after intervening, we were able to release one person on the day itself. But however, for the other two, our village volunteers made some condition, which it took us time because the first discussion with the DGP of Manipur was on the 29th. But because of he being a DGP of a state, our negotiation could not materialize. First, the demand was the transfer of all jail inmates from Imphal to Kuki Zo dominated area, which is Churisanpur. And the second is establishment of police station at Pailengmul area. See, if the CM had cared for those two detained individuals, he would have acted. But sadly so, we requested the central government to intervene. And finally, a DGP on the behest of this central government made us possible to reach an amicable solution. Therefore, to youths were released today, and as per the agreement, 11 people who are the jail inmates have been received here at this church.
In the meantime, 11 inmates from Sasewa jail who had been granted bail a month ago but remained in custody due to lack of adequate escort arrangements were transferred to Kangpokpi district. They were initially handed over to Saparmaina police stations before being released into the care of Kotu. Eleven Kuki under trial prisoners were handed over to Saparmaina police stations during the early hours of today. Sources indicate that the prisoners had been set for release on bail a month ago but were unable to leave due to insufficient escort arrangements. In a separate but related incident, two youths, Thokchom Thoi Thoiba and Oinam Thoi Tui, who were abducted by suspected Kuki militants in Kangpokpi district on September 27th, were safely released early this morning. The dog, missing for nearly a week, was handed over to Superintendent of Police at approximately 5 a.m. today. Manipur Chief Minister Ambaran Singh confirmed their release in a post on the microblogging site X, stating, "The two young men abducted in Kangpokpi have been safely brought back to the custody of Manipur police. I sincerely appreciate everyone from both the state and central government who worked tirelessly to ensure their safe return." Local sources suggest that negotiations between community leaders and authorities may have played a role in securing their release. However, officials have yet to disclose details regarding the youth's health and the circumstances surrounding their abduction. Earlier on October 2, Manipur MP Angomcha Bimol Akoizam made an urgent appeal to Home Minister Amit Shah, calling for the safe return of the two youths. This incident is part of a troubling escalation in communal violence that has plagued the state since May 2023. The abductions occurred when three young men from Tobal district were traveling to New Keitelmambi for an SSC GD recruitment test on September 27. They were reportedly taken by suspected armed members of Kuki community, while one youth was rescued by Assam Rifles. Oinam Thoi Thoi Singh and Thokchom Thoi Thoi Ba Meite remained in captivity until their release today. The Kuki MP Manipur, an apex body of the Kuki tribes in Manipur, while condemning the extensions of Armed Forces Special Powers Act (AFSPA) for another 6 months, has asked the central government to intervene and ensure justice and equality among all communities of the state. The Kuki MP in a press statement on Wednesday said that extensions of AFSPA limited to hill areas of Manipur represents institutionalized bias and gross injustice against the tribal communities, particularly the Kuki community. It said the Imphal Valley too is in a troubled state, facing a total collapse of law and order compounded by certain radical organizations. The tribal body alleges that deliberate exclusions of the valley, despite the alarming situations and partial impositions of AFSPA, serve as a stark reminder of the entrenched biases within the state policies. It also alleges that the state government has clearly violated the principles of equality, justice, and protections of minority rights enshrined in the constitutions of India. The apex body said that it is utterly reprehensible that the state government operates in direct contradictions to the ideals of a free and democratic India. It also accused the state government of orchestrating and perpetuating the ongoing violence. It said the Kuki people stand firmly opposed to state government and its discriminatory and oppressive policies. The Kuki MP further said that the need of the hour is a permanent political solution to the ongoing conflict in the state. The Manipur government last month extended the AFSPA in the state for another 6 months with effect from October 1, excluding the areas under the jurisdictions of 19 police stations. On September 27, 2024, two heartbreaking incidents occurred in Manipur. First incident was reported to be at Nasil Vane, where a young boy named Jacob was drowned while playing near the river. Second incident happened at Beulah Land, where a girl child named Baby Kim Sang, who was just a few months old, fell from a window overlooking the river and drowned. The search for the bodies has entered its sixth day. Philanthropic organizations swiftly responded with SDRF, Manipur volunteers joining rescue efforts. Local organizations KKL, HYA, YVA, YPA, YMA, ZYO providing support. Gelzang Resort owner donating a boat for the search individuals and groups donating food and essentials. A duty roster was organized for village patrols to assist in the search. The operations continue till today, October 3. We extend our condolences to the families affected and appreciate the community's solidarity during this difficult time. On September 27, 2024, two heartbreaking incidents occurred in Manipur. First incident was reported to be at Nasil Vane, where a young boy named Jacob was drowned while playing near the river. Second incident happened at Beulah Land, where a girl child named Baby Kim Sang, who was just a few months old, fell from a window overlooking the river and drowned. The search for the bodies has entered its sixth day. Philanthropic organizations swiftly responded with SDRF, Manipur volunteers joining rescue efforts, local organizations providing support. Gelzang Resort owner donating a boat for the search. Individuals and groups donating food and essentials. A duty roster was organized for the village patrols to assist in the search. The operations will continue until October 3. We extend our condolences to the families affected and appreciate the community's solidarity during this difficult time. The decisions on further actions will depend on the conclusions of the bereaved families and participating organizations. The decisions on further actions will depend on the conclusions of the bereaved families and participating organizations. May the families find strength and solace in this challenging time. A mob stormed at police stations in Manipur's Ukhrul town and looted arms during a clash between two groups, officials said on Thursday. 3 persons were killed and 20 others injured in a gunfight that broke out between two groups on Wednesday over cleaning a disputed land in the town as part of Swachhata Abhiyan. The police station was attacked when the violence was ongoing. Prohibitory orders were imposed and mobile internet services were suspended in the town after the clash between the two groups of the Naga community. After violence broke out in Ukhrul town, a mob comprising mostly of youth stormed the police stations located at Wino Bazaar and they came with government weapons, an official said. The number and types of weapons looted cannot be immediately confirmed as an investigation is continuing, he added. Unofficial sources, however, claimed that the looted weapons included AK-47 and insect rifles. Looting of arms was reported from various police stations in the ethnic strife toward northeastern state earlier, but in all those cases, the area's concerns were dominated by either Métis or Kukis, the two warring communities. This is the first time a police station was stormed in Naga majority area, according to a source. The Kuki Women Union Koitelui bloc organized a peaceful sit-in protest to express deep satisfaction with the Kraprang pose. The demonstration drew a significant presence of women from the Koitelui area along with representatives from the Koitelui Area Chief Associations and Koitelui Area Youth Association. The protest objectives were outlined in 4 key points: eradications of violence, cease killings, gunfire, and kidnapping that instill fear among children, protections of women's rights, prevent wrongful acts against the girl child, prevention of substance abuse, address area prone to drug addiction, community safety, combat rising theft incidents. Leaders including Kuki Women Union President Kimi Kong Sai and Goi Talui Area Chief Association Chairman Thangboy Baite led the protest. A widow who lost her husband on September 30 shared her heartbreaking story, appealing to the assailants to surrender. The 6-hour protest from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. brought together individuals of all ages, united in their plea to eliminate these harmful behaviors from our community. Gangpokpi District Bar Associations observed Second Foundations Day 2024 solemnly at its office at Gangpokpi Court Complex. President of Association Seikulin Lupo addressed the gathering asking for constructive successions for the development of the organizations and also stated that as per Article 13V of the AMBA, the term of the present office bearer come to an end on this foundation day, and President announced and dissolved the present executives and hand over the church to Elections Committee to conduct fresh elections for the term 2024 to 2026. The Elections Committee conduct fresh elections for the term 2024 to 2026. An oath-taking ceremony was done. An election certificate was also distributed to the elected leaders to their respective posts. Hence, the following persons are the elected office bearer for the term 2024 to 2026. First President, Advisor Seikulin Lupo. Second, Vice President, Advisor Zangkugin Haukim. Secretary, Advisor Kaimin Lund Chongloi. Secretary, Advisor Paul Totang. Treasurer, Advisor Kim Neklin Kimget. Auditors are Advisor Tangzalin Kongsai and Advisor Lezangam Hang Sing. Deputy Commissioner of Kohima Kumar Ramnikant IAS has announced an enumeration exercise targeting residents of Kohima district and their district direct descendants from the Garo, Kuki, Kachari, Mikir, Karbi, and Nepali or Gorkha communities. This initiative aims to facilitate the issuance of High Court Certificates AC and Permanent Resident Certificates PRC. According to notifications, individuals from the Garo, Kuki, Kachari, and Mikir Karbi communities must have settled in Nagaland prior to December 1, 1963, while Nepali and Gorkha residents must have settled before December 31, 1940. It said the enumerations will be conducted at the village and town levels by Deputy Commissioner's Office using a prescribed pro forma. Its enumerations will require counter signatures from various officials, including the Village Council Chairman or Municipal Council Chairman, as applicable, concerned Village GB, Area Administrative Officer, Chairman or President, or representatives of the Garo, Katari, Kuki, Mikir, Karbi, and Nepali or Gorkhas as applicable, and the Deputy Commissioner of the district. It mentioned that all copies of final enumeration sheets shall be submitted to the Home Department, Nagaland, through the Commissioner, Nagaland, which shall be further placed before the Cabinet for decision. The schedule for the enumeration exercise is October 1, 2024, issuance of notifications, October 18 to 31, 2024, training for church officers, supervisors, and enumerators, November 1, 2024, to January 31, 2025, enumeration exercise period, February 15, 2025, publications of draft list, February 17 to March 17, 2025, claims and objective submission period, March 18 to April 21, 2025, disposal of claims and objections, May 6, 2025, final publications of the enumeration list. A couple and their two sons were found dead at their home in Maharashtra Nagpur district on Wednesday morning, with police suspecting it to be a case of suicide. A purported suicide note found in the house pointed to the family being under stress due to the arrest of one of the sons in a fraud case, a Nagpur rural police official said. Some neighbors noticed unusual silence at the family's residence at Mowat village and alerted police. When the police broke open the house door, the 4 family members were found hanging from ceiling hooks, the officials said. The deceased have been identified as retired teacher Vijay Madhukar Pachori 68, his wife Mala 55, and their sons Ganesh 38 and Deepak 36, the officials said. A purported suicide note recovered from the premises indicated the family was under immense stress due to Ganesh's arrest earlier this year in a fraud case registered at Pandurna police stations in Madhya Pradesh, he said. The note had the signatures of the 4 family members, the officials say. The Narka police have registered a case of accidental death and are conducting further investigations into the matter, he added. At least 3 people were killed and 6 others injured after 3 houses collapsed on Wednesday evening following a massive blast in a house where an illegal cracker manufacturing unit was operational in a crowded residential area of a village in Bareilly district, say police officials in Lucknow. The incident took place in Kalyampur village around 4:30 p.m. when a group of people were busy manufacturing crackers in the house of one Rahman Shah. The owner was into cracker manufacturing business in partnership with his 2 relatives, Nazim and Nasir. The intensity of the blast was such that Shah house and 2 adjoining houses turned into debris, and the sound of the blast was heard by people over 2 kilometers away. 2 of the deceased were identified as Tabassum and Rukhsana, they said. IC Bareilly Ranch Rakesh Singh confirmed the death of 3 people, including 2 women in the incident. He said the rescue operation was still on and more people were suspected to be buried under the debris. Another police official informed that the bodies of 2 women were recovered, while parts of mutilated body were also found on the spot. He suspected that several others were buried under the debris, and the number of deaths or injuries was likely to increase further. 6 people were injured and undergoing treatment at nearby Community Health Center (CAC) in Ramnagar and other hospitals at Bareilly. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath took cognizance of the incident. He consoled the loss of lives and directed officials to ensure proper treatment of those injured in the blast. Additional Superintendent of Police Bareilly Mukesh Chandra informed that forces from 5 police stations had been roped for the rescue operations. He said primary investigation suggested that the manufacturing was going on illegally. The Indian Embassy in Cambodia in a statement said that they, in collaboration with Cambodia's Ministry of Interior, successfully rescued and repatriated Indian nationals trapped in a fraudulent job scams. The embassy cautions job seekers to beware of fake agents. In a post on X, the embassy said Indian Embassy in Cambodia, in collaboration with Cambodia's Ministry of Interior, has successfully rescued and repatriated Indian nationals trapped in fraudulent job scams. Caution job seekers, beware of fake agents. The Embassy of India in Cambodia. Phnom Penh has been actively engaged in rescuing and repatriations of Indian national trapped in fraudulent job offers obtained through fake agents who lured them into cybercrime in scam compounds, the statement said. On September 22, following specific leads from the embassy, the Cambodian police rescued 67 such Indian nationals from Poipet. The embassy, in close cooperation with the Cambodian police, is now facilitating the repatriations of these 67 Indian nationals in batches. A team of embassy officials is currently overseeing the repatriations process and is present at the airport to see them off. 15 of our nationals have already left for India on September 30 and 24 more have left on October 1. The rest 28 will reach India in the course of the next few days, it added. The Embassy of India continues to monitor the situation closely and remains committed to helping our nationals trapped in cybercrimes. Meanwhile, India's nationals are advised to exercise extreme caution in taking up job opportunities in Cambodia and other Southeast Asian countries through suspicious agents and social media advertisement. The statement cautioned. Since January 2022 till today, the Embassy of India in Phnom Penh has facilitated the repatriations of over 1,000 Indian citizens, with nearly 770 in the first 9 months of 2024. This was possible with the cooperations extended by the Cambodian authorities to the Embassy of India, the statement said. National Unity Government and Ministry of Defense announced today that they attacked the military council troops with 85 forces in Butalin Township, Sagaing Region, Monsha District, and were able to crush the whole army and seize 56 weapons and ammunition. The People's Defense Army, PDF, led by General Kwatin, Mar 106, who returned to Butalin from Kutoswa Police Station, Butalin Township on September 30, was guarded by the Joint Army PDF, Mer 106 309 16, Mer 229. Namaka region under 85 Joint Forces. It is said that the attack was started on September 30 at 12:43 p.m. and the fight intensified until 5:40 p.m. It is known that 33 people were killed bodies by the terrorist military council during the Yin battles, and 43 people, including 2 generals, were disarmed. It has been announced that the Civil Defense Army, POF, and allied forces seized various weapons, 56 arms, and lead stones from the terrorist military council during the battle. Israel bombed central Beirut early on Thursday, killing at least 6 people, after its forces suffered their deadliest day on the Lebanese front in a year of clashes with Iran-backed Hezbollah. Israel said it conducted a precise airstrike on Beirut. Reuters witnesses reported hearing a massive blast, and the security forces said it targeted a building in the central district of Bachora near Parliament, the closest an Israeli strike has come to the center of Lebanon's capital. At least 6 people were killed and 7 wounded, Lebanese health officials said. A photo circulating on Lebanese WhatsApp groups, which Reuters could not immediately verify, showed a heavily damaged building with its first floor on fire. 3 missiles also hit the southern suburb of Dahiyeh, where Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah was killed last week, and loud blasts were heard, Lebanese security officials said. The southern suburbs came under more than a dozen Israeli strikes on Wednesday. The Israel Defense Forces asked residents of Lebanese villages who have evacuated their homes not to return until further notice. IDF raids are continuing, spokesperson Avichai Adri said on X on Thursday. Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi militant group said it launched drone strikes on Israel's financial capital, Tel Aviv. The operation achieved its goal successfully by the arrival of the drones without being detected or shut down by the enemy, said Yahya Sari, the group's military spokesperson. A day after Iran fired more than 180 missiles into Israel, Israel said on Wednesday 8 soldiers were killed in ground combat in South Lebanon as its forces thrust into northern neighbor. The Israeli military said regular infantry and armor units joined group operations in Lebanon on Wednesday as Iran's missile attack and Israel's promise of retaliation fan concern of a wider conflict in the oil-producing Middle East. Hezbollah said its fighter engaged Israeli forces inside Lebanon. The movement reported ground clashes for the first time since Israeli forces pushed over the border on Monday. Hezbollah said it had destroyed 3 Israeli Merkava tanks with rockets near the border town of Maron el-Rash. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said in a condolence video, "We are at the height of difficult war against Iran's agents of evil, which wants to destroy us. This will not happen because we will stand together and with God's help, we will win together. Lebanon's health ministry said Israeli air raids killed at least 46 people in south and central regions in the past 24 hours. Iran said on Wednesday its missile volley, its biggest ever assault on Israel, was over, bearing further provocations, but Israel and the United States promised to hit back hard. US President Joe Biden said he would not support any Israeli strike on Iran's nuclear sites in response to its ballistic missile attack and urged Israel to act proportionally against its regional arch foe. Biden joined a call with other leaders of the group of 7 major powers to coordinate a response, including new sanctions against Tehran, the White House said. These 7 leaders voiced strong concerns over the Middle East crisis but said a diplomatic solution was still viable and a reason why conflict was in no one's interest, a statement said. China called on the United Nations Security Council to take urgent actions to de-escalate the situations in the Middle East. The Security Council bears the primary responsibility for the maintenance of international peace and security. China's permanent representative to UN, Fu Gong, said during a Security Council briefing on Wednesday. Xinhua News said. Fu said all parties must return to the track of political and diplomatic solutions. Western nations have drafted contingency plans to evacuate citizens from Lebanon after Tuesday's dramatic escalations, but none have launched a large-scale military evacuation yet, though some are chartering aircraft as Beirut airport stays open. Nepal Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli on Tuesday said that more than 4,000 people were rescued in the rain-induced floods and landslides that have claimed 241 lives so far and wreaked havoc in the Himalayan country. Admitting that there was a delay on the part of the government while carrying out search and rescue operations, Oli, during a press conference at Singha Durbar, asked one and all to support the government efforts for relief and rehabilitation work. He said that the authorities have rescued 4,331 people across the country from the flooding disaster. The Prime Minister expressed his commitment to correct shortcomings in the rescue and search operations due to unimaginable disaster that hit the country on Saturday after 48 hours of incessant rain. Chief Secretary Ariel informed that the country suffered around rupees 17 billion loss due to devastating landslide and flood that claimed 241 lives. At least 29 people were missing and 126 suffered injuries, he said. Nearly 900 people, including foreign trackers, have been rescued by helicopters from different flood-hit areas in the last 2 days, Home Ministry spokesperson Rishiram Tiwari said. The Kathmandu Post newspaper reported. The spokesperson said that Nepal Army chopper rescued 683 people, 425 people on Sunday, and 258 on Monday. The rescue is ongoing, he said. Apart from disaster response conducted by Nepal Army, private choppers have also been rescuing stranded foreigners, particularly in the mountain region, he added. The exact number of rescues conducted by private chopper is unknown, but operations state roughly 200 foreign trackers and few Nepalis have been evacuated in the last 2 days. The disaster, which began on Thursday, continued to cause widespread destructions in multiple provinces until Sunday, leaving thousands displaced. Large swathes of eastern and central Nepal have been inundated since Friday. However, the weather improved from Sunday in Kathmandu, providing some relief to disaster-affected people. Incessant rain from Thursday to Saturday created havoc across Nepal. The Kathmandu Valley suffered the most, where the death toll crossed 50. More than 20,000 security personnel, including from the Nepal Army, Armed Police Force, and Nepal Police, have been deployed for all-out efforts of search, rescue, and relief distribution. Those injured are receiving treatment at various health facilities, Home Ministry spokesperson Rishiram Tiwari said. Similarly, those affected by the floods and landslides are provided with instant relief materials. The government has given priority to search, rescue, and relief distribution. The efforts to resume the blocked roadways are currently underway to worry aided. Scientists say that while climate change is changing the amount and timing of rainfall across Asia, a key reason for the rise in the impact of floods is the built environment, including unplanned constructions, especially on floodplains which leave insufficient areas for water retention and drainage. The flood and landslide have thrown life out of gear in many parts of the country, with many highways and road stretches disrupted, hundreds of thousands, hundreds of houses and bridges buried or swept away, and hundreds of families displaced. Thousands of passengers have been stranded in various places due to road disruption. Israel's military say Wednesday that 8 soldiers have been killed in intense fighting with Hezbollah militants in southern Lebanon, 3 days after it launched ground operations in the country. The update on the ongoing ground race came almost a year after Israel launched its war against Hamas in the Gaza Strip in retaliation for the Iran-backed group's October 7 terrorist rampage, prompting Hamas ally Hezbollah to stop firing rockets at northern Israel. The Israel Defense Forces announced the beginning of its say would be limited, localized, and targeted ground raids against Hezbollah in Lebanon on Monday. After about 2 weeks of blistering airstrikes on the group's strongholds in southern Lebanon and the southern suburbs of Lebanon's capital, Beirut, those ongoing strikes have killed more than 1,000 people and displaced about 1 million from their homes, according to Lebanese officials. The aerial assault and unprecedented covert operations before that show thousands of pagers and walkie-talkies held by Hezbollah militants blown up with embedded explosives, largely decapitated the U.S. designated terrorist organization. Its longtime leader Hassan Nasrallah was killed in a strike on September 27, and at least half a dozen other senior figures and dozens of mid-level operatives have also been killed. But even as Israel prepared to launch this ground operation, Hezbollah's surviving deputy leader declared that the group ready for war. Below is a look at how the arch enemies came to be at war again for the first time since a roughly one-month conflict in 2006 that left more than 1,000 people dead in Lebanon and more than 150 in Israel. And what's at stake this time in the wake of Hezbollah-backer Iran launching its blistering October 1 missile attack on Israel, failing fear that the U.S. could be drawn into fighting. The IDF confirmed Wednesday the death of 8 soldiers in the cross-border raids, with initial statement confirming Captain Eitan Isaac Oster, 22, fell during combat in southern Lebanon. The IDF later named 7 other soldiers killed in the combat. The military said the soldiers were killed in 2 separate incidents, and the 6 troops, including an officer, were severely wounded in the same incidents. The IDF did not provide further information on the nature of the deadly incidents. That's all from us tonight, and we thank you for joining our program.